opinion about the breastfeeding doll.
Yeah. Sister, I'm sorry. And I breastfed both of my kids. I have 2 kids, but not once they get teeth. I'm done. Once there are teeth involved, and way before speech. Yeah.
And
if they can ask you to whip out a boob, that's
it's done.
Yeah.
And what do you think of the doll?
The doll.
The doll's creepy. I'm sorry. I get it, and yes, I think in theory it's a wonderful thing to teach kids that that's natural and perfectly normal, and that should be a great first option. But I have a 3-year-old. Who's way into dolls, and I cannot see her walking around holding a doll to her boob. That's going to creep me out.
Yeah, it's a little odd.
She's all about being the little mommy.
I'm sure you asked her in hopes that she was going to agree with you, right? Sorry, baby. 1 for Leah, 10 for Sarah.
I really
But I'd be happy to buy you one of those dolls if you would like to just...
I really know I've got to probably ask 400 guests before one agrees.
All right, tell us about your new show, and what did you have to do to prepare for it?
Well, it's about medical examiners. It takes place in the medical examiner's office. And so before we started shooting the pilot, we had our first little field trip as a cast. And we all went to talk to the actual chief medical examiner in Providence, Rhode Island, which is where we were shooting. And we got to pick his brain a little bit. And then all of the cast now has observed at least 1 autopsy. Most of us have observed more than 1. And it is the most fascinating, just amazing, miraculous thing to see. I highly recommend it. I think everyone should see an autopsy.
You have to have a stomach for it, though.
Well, you do, and I'm a big science geek from way back, so I love that. I was always into
doll,
dissection.
Autopsy doll.
See that? I would be on board with it. I'm the autopsy doll.
What Sawyer doing? An autopsy dummy.
It's nature. What? Yeah, so that was the preparation.
Now, how do you feel when you get recognized from Star Trek Voyager?
You know what? It's great. Oh, thank you. No, I'm lucky because I mean that's an honor as an actor to be able to have a character that became so iconic, which is great. But I remember when I was on Star Trek, and this was a long time ago. Our director of photography had T-shirts printed for everybody as a gift one year, and it was the little Star Trek comm badge symbol behind bars, and it said "Lifer," because that's what it is. I mean, once you're involved in that franchise, you are always in that franchise. It's an amazing group of fans.
Now, I heard that you have a thing for Frenchmen and chefs. and I also heard that this worked out for you.
It did work out fairly well. Yeah, it did. So my husband is French, and he's a chef, and he's amazing.
How'd you meet him?
I was actually cooking for fun in a restaurant on Sundays. And my best friend who I met there was in culinary school at the time, and she said, "Oh, you got to meet the chef of l'Orangerie, he's so hot." And so I met him, and he was, in fact, quite hot and charming and a chef and perfect. So
You weren't doing it for fun. That's your version of going to a bar to pick up a guy.
I was trolling for chefs.
All right, fine. And it worked out. So how is your French and how is his English?
Oh, God. His English is great, but it is a very heavily accented English, which he refuses to remediate at all because it's sexy and I love it.
Sexy.
But yeah, my French is horrific, as my daughter reminds me constantly. My daughter, who's now 3, just turned 3. Your French is bad. Every time I say anything.
Speak French?
She's fluent, yeah, and she understands everything he says. And I've been studying it for 7 years. And, and it's so disheartening because I pick up, it's a children's book, like for toddlers, and I know once every like 3 words or something. I get it. It's hard. It's really frustrating.
But you started as an adult. That's
I did.
That's like starting skiing as an adult or
rough.
anything.
It's rough. And if I work at it and I review every day, then I can make great progress. But if I'm not reviewing, it's gone.
Yeah.
So it's not easy.
Well, you look fabulous as always.
Thank
you. Want to
you.
let everyone know Body of Proof premieres next Tuesday night. Jeri Ryan, thanks for coming on.